Hello, this is the short presentation for the AutoML 2024 conference in Paris. I will be talking about confidence interval estimation of predictive performance in the context of AutoML. Let me just go full screen. So, in the context of AutoML, in the end of the analysis, it's very important to have an estimation of the predictive performance of the final model. The problem that occurs is that there is some uncertainty regarding this quantification of the performance estimation. That's why we need confidence intervals to create bounds around this prediction. So in the context of AutoML, because we're testing various models, maybe tens or hundreds or thousands of models, there's the winner's curse problem, which introduces bias in the estimation of these performance. And we need reliable methods for either assessing or removing this bias. One of these methods is our own BBC method, the bootstrap bias correction method. We will be comparing various methods that create confidence intervals around predictive performance estimation, and we will apply these methods on both simulated classification data and real-world benchmark classification datasets from the OpenML website. In short, the methods we will be comparing against each other are traditional methods like the bootstrap tilting, Hanley-McNeil, DeLong, and naive bootstrapping. Two state-of-the-art methods, which are the multiplicity-adjusted bootstrap tilting and our own bootstrap bias correction, and our new proposed method, the novel method we propose in this paper, which is the fold version of the bootstrap bias correction method. This is the analysis protocol that we follow in order to compare the various methods. We apply our JetBio AutoML platform with a tenfold cross-validation protocol and a grid search for hyperparameter of the various methods and the models, which results in 766 JetBio pipeline configurations that consist of a feature selection module and a predictive model module. And then the best configurations are selected based on the cross-validated AUC performance of the various models. All confidence intervals methods were applied post-analysis using the out-of-sample prediction matrices. And the objective of a confidence interval is, on the one hand, to contain the true unknown AUC performance of the selected model, but also have be as narrow as possible. So, as I mentioned before, the various confidence interval methods were compared based on whether the 95% version of them contained the true in simulation or holdout in benchmark datasets performance at least 95% of the time, which is a requirement to consider the confidence interval legitimate, and whether each method is tighter on average or wider than the rest of the methods, where a tighter confidence interval is always considered to be better. Criterion 1 above was statistically tested using an exact binomial distribution-based test. And furthermore, BBC and BBC fold methods were compared against each other based on their computational efficiency. Regarding the inclusion of the 95% of performance and the confidence interval tightness, all methods tightness were compared against the BBC tightness. And in the plots here, values lower than 1 are considered better than the BC. On the other hand, orange colored dots, correspond to confidence intervals failing to include at least 95% of the true performances according to the statistical test based on the binomial distribution that we mentioned earlier. On the next slide, we compare the computational efficiency of the bootstrap bias correction confidence interval and the fold version of it. The running time of the BBC fold is substantially shorter than that of the BBC. And for increasing data sample and number of configurations, the computational gain is great. Whereas for increasing number of folds, it looks like the fold version of the BBC is approaching asymptotically the BBC, the original BBC method, but this happens only for unrealistically large numbers of folds because we rarely see analysis cross-validation protocols with more than 10 or 20 folds. We jump to the conclusions. We have seen that BBC and BBCF methods are superior to all the rivals regarding both inclusion probability and tightness. The results are tightly close in simulated and real-life datasets. The fold version of the BBC doesn't seem to be a compromise in quality compared to the BBC. And it is a substantial improvement regarding the computational efficiency of the original BBC method. Thank you for watching.